Should all parents-to-be sign a custody contract before the birth of the child?
So would it be, what would it be then? A postnatal nup?
I guess
like a prenup.
It's
a prenatal nup.
A prenatal nup. You've coined the phrase here on the show.
There we go.
Yeah. I mean, it's a
Only
difficult
in America,
one.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly. But we all know it ends up here if it starts there.
Yeah.
So
yes.
what do we all make of that? It's an unusual stance to take early on, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, of course, we want to. We want to always imagine that we're having a baby in a loving relationship with two sane and sorted people, but I mean, my instinct first of all is to go, oh God, that's just crazy. No, what a load of rubbish. But what about if you had got pregnant with somebody, and that person had issues? I don't know. Maybe they're violent. Maybe they're living in some kind of chaos.
Yeah.
And rather than waiting till the baby arrives, you have some sort of agreement set in place so that the fighting and screaming and shouting and anything else that might happen doesn't happen over the baby.
I think you should have stuck with your first thought. It's absolutely crazy. To think that you can control these situations so far in advance is crazy, because even in regular situations, how you feel 2 weeks into a pregnancy is completely different as to how you feel after the baby comes along. You don't know what he's going to be like after the baby comes along, what you're going to be like. It's not a possession, it's not the CD collection. I mean, if anything, in these situations, when you hear about it, I think the baby should have a lawyer, you know, because this is a baby, it's its life, he or she's life, and surely
but what if you're feeling very protective? So take the example that the person you've had the baby with is violent. You've discovered he's violent, and you also have got new life growing in you, and you're scared, and you're thinking, oh my God, he could just come in here and take the baby, and you want to insure yourself against that.
If you're such a violent, irrational person, any kind of pre-nut, nap, noop, whatever you want to call it, ain't going to make any difference. You've got a completely different ballgame.
And bringing it back to the basics as well, at what stage you must have to change this contract every 5 years, every 3 years, because the life of the child changes, because maybe one Saturday the child wants to do a sporty thing, that's not the day that you're supposed to have it. There's got to be flexibility, so if it's all on a page and that's what you've got to stick to, surely the child will be the only one that's going to suffer. It's the grown-ups being kids here.
I think when we talk about custody, I just feel a lot of the time we lose the child. What's best for the child? What does the child want? Remember the child in this rather than what the Warren parents want.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think what's scaring everybody is the word contract. I think relationships do break down, and it's about two adults finding out what's best for the child. And I'm from a family. My biological dad, I never ever met until he sold a story. Well, not sold, but released the story when I won Hell's Kitchen, and that was the first time I'd seen his face. And he printed my birth certificate. My sister went into school and everyone was going, "Told you didn't look like her," So that, and I always knew. My dad who brought me up is absolutely amazing, and I always knew that there was somebody else. But I remember saying to my gran one night, "What did he look like?" And she was like, "Well, you've got his eyes and his chin." And I used to walk around town going, "He's got brown eyes and he's got a chin like me, is that him?" So it does affect the child. And I think it's about people, as you said, Kay, thinking about the child. Like, my mum and dad have been absolutely incredible and amazing, but a lot of people don't, and a lot of people use the child as a weapon to get back at the ex if they've moved on. I just think, it's so important that...
Do you feel, obviously that's a horrendous thing that happened to you, that you released this information, you hadn't seen him. Do you wish that you'd had more contact with him as you were growing up, or...?
No, I mean, it's quite sad, really, because another contact that I had made was a local radio DJ in Liverpool phoned me up and went, "Your auntie's got in touch and can you speak to her?" And I was like, "What's the matter?"
What, live on a radio show?
No, he phoned me personally because we were friends.
Okay.
And he said, your granddad's dying and his dying wishes to see you. And I was just like...
And this was a man you'd never met,
This is your paternal
stranger, and I'm just thinking to myself, if I hadn't have been well-known, if I hadn't have been, I just won Hell's Kitchen, I was about to film Phantom of the Opera, so I was everywhere, if I had been like got pregnant at 15, you know, trying to struggle through my life, would he have got in touch? Because he didn't get in touch for all those years.
Are these questions that you still would like answered, or
No,
not?
because I'm not missing anything.
Yeah.
My dad is absolutely incredible. My mum's incredible. I don't feel like I'm missing anything, and I just
Did
think...
you grow up knowing that your dad wasn't your biological dad?
I always knew, but it
When
was...
you say knew, that was sort of in your heart, right? It wasn't discussed in the
remembered him.
family.
Yeah, it was never discussed, no. And
If you thought that got heated, wait until you watch these and click here to subscribe. You may as well. It's totally free.